Hi, Matt Noyes. Monday pattern predictions looking out to the next 14 days. You can always get the 14-day forecast right off of our app, Noyes. Search our name, Noyes. It'll probably fill in for you. But Noyes is 1 degree outside weather on the App Store and Google Play. This segment is designed to show you why the forecast looks the way it does in the app and what might change as we go out through the next 2 weeks. Let's start out with the jet stream. As we head through this week, you're going to notice northern energy dropping down in the jet stream. And look at the way we carve out what we call a trough, a dip in the jet stream over the northeast. What's happening here is a storm is taking shape over the Canadian provinces, and we are on the backside of that. Sometimes when you start piling energy in behind a storm, it can what we call retrograde. It moves slowly west. That is going to happen Friday into Saturday. The question now is how much of the back edge of that storm do we get into? There is a chance you'll see the chance of showers rising on Friday if it backs up enough. Right now, that doesn't seem likely, but it's possible it throws some showers and a little bit of a gusty northerly wind at us as we head to the very end of the week. By the time we get to the beginning of next week, you've got a very strong jet stream blowing across the Great Lakes, winds of 225 to about 240 miles per hour in the middle of this. We call it a jet streak, an area of faster wind inside the jet stream. What does that mean for us? Well, it's going to speed up flights that are going west to east on Monday. It's going to slow them down if they're going east to west. The other part of this, though, is it does start to point some energy in our direction, and that does increase the chance of showers, at least briefly, as that pushes on through. What's more interesting as we get into not this coming week, but next week, is we do start to get a little bit more phasing of the jet stream. It's still kind of happening down to the south and west, so we had told you in the monthly forecast that the nation's midsection would be the spot that would mostly be seeing most of the precipitation this month. That still appears to be the case as we get to the second half of the month. When you look at the chance of precipitation here, you see that increase Friday on the backside of the storm over the Canadian provinces. You see that increase Monday as that jet streak comes into play. Timing when you're dealing with a jet streak can be off a little bit. It may get a little bit quicker, come in sometime late Sunday or Sunday night, or it may get a little bit slower. I don't think slower. It's a fast jet stream, so it may get a little quicker, and we'll watch Sunday for you at the end of the day. And then next week, you saw we start to get some of that phasing. That may throw some showers at us middle to end of next week. But when you look at the total 2-week precipitation and the amounts, again, it's mostly the nation's midsection that sees a lot of it. We at home have very limited amounts of rain, really just coming in those shower chances that we just looked at. The temperature pattern is mostly going to be near normal, and maybe if it had to lean one direction, it may lean above normal, although it's not a real clear signal. And the reason I say that is because as you get the storm at the end of this week off to our east, I mentioned a northerly wind. Well, you're not going to warm up much on a northerly wind. Then the next storm centers are going to be developing out over the nation's midsection. That tends to bring in warmth, but notice we keep getting these Canadian high pressures that kind of cut off from the north and west. And so what that means is it's not delivering the load of cold that's building up in Canada. The coldest stuff comes into the western United States, but it is at least opening the door to more seasonable air. And that's why when you look at the high temperature forecast, you get the big spike of today into the 60s, and that's about it. We don't see a return of this kind of warmth, and certainly not the 70s and the record-setting stuff that we had earlier in the month. That just doesn't appear to be in the cards. As you might expect, low temperatures then are pretty close to normal for this time of the year. In fact, you take a pretty big dip as we get toward the end of the week with a shot of cool air that comes in. You might do it again as you get toward the end of the 14-day period. So that's how things are looking for now. And, of course, in the tropics, things have tended to quiet down as you get this deep into the season. There is one area we'll watch right off the coast of Central America. Here's Cancun. Here's Cuba. And so there's an increased chance of development here as we get to the end of this week and next weekend. We'll keep an eye on that and see what, if anything, it turns into. A reminder that our swag store is going strong. Thanks to all of you who have been able to support us in this way. Swag.onedegreeoutside.com. Look forward to seeing you again with more videos. Always the updates at onedegreeoutside.com. We'll get the evening essentials out so you can plan that return to work and school for tomorrow. We see you again later on in the day.